Welcome back. We are in conversation with President Emeritus of the Baldwin Wallace University, Professor Richard Durst, and Vice President of Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Yamunanagar, and GMN College, Ambala, Randeep Jauhar. Professor Durst, do you also have a provision of faculty exchange between the GMN College and BW University?
Absolutely. That's one of the goals that we have. We don't want this to just be one way with Indian students coming to the United States, an opportunity for our faculty to work together with faculty from India on research projects that they might have of mutual interest, an opportunity for faculty from here to come and perhaps teach for a short period of time at Baldwin Wallace University. So all of those things are included in this Memorandum of Understanding.
Right. How do you see this will benefit the students, especially the students who are studying here in the colleges which we have mentioned and with which you have actually signed an MOU with?
Well, I think the opportunity for faculty from here to come and see the kind of teaching that we do may assist them in evolution of their teaching, an opportunity for students from here to bring back, because most of them will come back to India and with an understanding of the American educational system and a better understanding of the future and what that might mean. So there are all kinds of opportunities for us, I think, that will make all of us better. An opportunity for our faculty to come here, because there are world-class faculty here that have similar interests to their own. So that's all of the goals.
Right. Mr. Jauhar, I believe that there is this option in your MOU as well. There's a joint research program. Just tell us a little bit about that.
I want to add a little bit on what Professor Durst said on the faculty exchange. It's very interesting, but we are trying to introduce maybe yoga and Indian religion subjects in BW.
Okay.
And that could become a part of, after the regulatory approvals, if they get it. But then our professors can go and teach these subjects if, students are interested.
Okay.
So that's something I wanted to add. On the joint research, see, the government of India, the UGC gives grants to professors to do research programs where they can travel and take up any subject and do a research on it. Where we want if we have Baldwin Wallace professors involved in that, it just expands we have two brains and two cultures doing the research. It can be a much more meaningful research. So that's what is a joint research program which we want to start between the two colleges.
Right. We discussed about the faculty exchange. Do you also have an option of student exchange under this MOU?
Yes. In fact, we've devised a program for a short term. Again, we are kind of seeing what the demand from the students would be. But the program is for 2 weeks. Students will go into Cleveland, do some sightseeing, see the American culture, also take up some classes, and they get aware of what American education will be. We could also make it into a longer duration program where in a summer school they could take some subjects, and ultimately the objective is that we kind of also have our curriculums get together. So a student from BW could actually study 6 months in India and 6 months in US and get credit. And in this globalized world, his CV will say, yes, I have studied in India. Similarly, for an Indian student, he can go down and say, okay, I've studied a couple of months in BW in the US, so I have exposure to the US. So it kind of helps both students.
Absolutely. Professor Durst, talking about the undergraduate course again, I believe you are giving a heavy fee concession, as Mr. Jauhar also informed us. It's about approximately 30 to 40%. What is the actual annual tuition fee, and what is the subsidized one?
Tuition and fees for us include housing and food for our students. So altogether, the students pay about $36,000 US per term.
Okay.
Per year. And about 40% or even a little bit more than that is covered by this the tuition reduction, the agreement that we have with the colleges for the students to come. So the students get a substantial discount in tuition.
That's a huge amount.
Yeah.
Yeah. So see, at many universities the total cost of an education escalates as large numbers of the students take 5, 6 or even more years to complete their undergraduate program, right? Now, starting with the 2012 incoming freshman class this year, I read this on your website that BW offers the guarantee that provides a tuition-free additional year to finish. Now, does this offer stands for the foreign students as well?
We've never had an international student ask, but yes, it does. It is a guarantee that as long as the student follows, one of the unique things about American curriculum is it is not rigid. The student has many opportunities to select courses that they take. Sometimes those are so attractive to them that they forget the message of getting from point A to point B. So they take courses that sound fascinating and they kind of get off track. As long as the students make sure that they take the required courses, they can still take lots of others as well. But as long as they do that, we guarantee that they will graduate in 4 years, or we pay the tuition for as long as it takes for them to graduate.
Interesting. I believe that the students are going to understand this point very well now.
Good.
Now, will the university also help students fund their accommodation if they do not want to stay on the campus?
If they decide to stay off campus, then that accommodation, we haven't had one that's asked that yet, so I don't honestly know the answer, Jocelyn. But I think that our commitment is once we get them there that we want to make sure that they complete their education. So it would be interesting to contemplate that, but no one has yet asked because they have such a good time living on the campus and being part of the campus activities that the students that are there are all living on the campus, and a couple of them even have jobs. One young woman that I see, there are 3 men and 1 woman. I see her in the recreation center. She has a job working in the recreation center, so I see her every time I go over there to work out. So they really are assimilated into the culture to be part of it, and they're not just separate, the 4 of them together, but they really are making a lot of friends and learning a lot of new things.
Right. What's your advice for the students? Should they stay on campus or off campus? Because I believe if they stay off campus, their expenditure is going to escalate.
I think that's true. Our housing is actually very low-cost housing, and the wonderful thing is they have so many options to choose from because we have many different, within our residence halls, students could opt to have a single room and live by themselves. We discourage our international students from doing that because then you're only by yourself. You're not meeting other people. But they could do that. We have larger rooms where there are 2 or 3 students that live together. We have apartments that we own on the campus so they can actually have their own kitchen and their own living room. And so there are all kinds of options for them to choose from. So there's really not much reason for them to live off campus, especially because it's more expensive as well.
Right. Now the interesting point over here is what I would like to ask you is that you have signed the MOU with these colleges over here. How do you think that your program is different from the other universities who are also in the competition?
I think I'd go back to what I said initially, and that is this university prides itself on relationships between students and faculty. So many places, we are small enough that these students get to know their professors by name. They're often invited into the professors' homes. Many universities, most universities in America, that simply doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. It's a real commitment from Baldwin Wallace University. It's the kind of faculty that we hire. They understand when they come that we expect them to have this kind of relationship with all of their students, whether they're Indian students or students from the United States. So I think that's really what sets us apart, plus the fact that we have world-class curriculum that they can study. We're highly ranked, so I think they get the best of both worlds, and that's just simply not often.
Now, Professor Durst, tell us what kind of academic achievements does the university boast of?
Well, one of the things that we are most proud of is that our students continue to get employment when they leave the university. We truly believe that university education is important for a well-rounded human being, but if they can't put that education to work. So we have an Office of Career Services that works with our students that begins to work with them from the time they are first-year university students when they walk on the campus, and they begin to help them build a curriculum vitae, a resume that they can begin to share with others. Every student is required to have this internship working with a real-world company. Few universities have that kind of structure in place, so that we're preparing our students for the time that they leave us, the time that they finish their education, to be able to come back to India and move right into the workforce to find meaningful employment.
Absolutely. Mr. Johar, how do you see your students benefiting from studying in BW in terms of their long-term goal, in terms of their career?
Our experience so far has been excellent. Like I told you, kids going from small towns in Haryana, going into BW, firstly they've flourished, and the confidence levels have shot up. On top of that, the campus is giving them jobs. They're also working as interns in certain companies. So there is an overall development happening, and I'm sure these guys, if they want to take up jobs there, they are capable to get it. They want to come back to India and use their skills to build businesses. I'm sure they can do it.
Right. Professor Josh, what are the work rules for the international students? How many hours in a week they can work?
Well, the U.S. immigration rules they say that they can't work outside of the university. So the work that they have is all within the university. And we employ them for 10 hours a week, because what we don't want to do is adversely impact their educational system. So they work 10 hours a week for us, and they're paid a wage like any other student. They get the same wage that an American student gets that works for us. So
how important it is to keep a good percentage of attendance?
Oh, critical.
To maintain that.
I often tell the students at the first year convocation that we can't teach you if you're not here in attendance. So it's a high expectation of our faculty that that's part of this participation in your own educational process, that learning is not something that's done to you, it's done with you, and if you're not there, then you can't be part of the process.
Right. Why do you think that the students should choose BW and not any other place?
Because we truly take an interest in their lives, we take an interest in their education, we take an interest in them as individuals. We educate students one person at a time. There's virtually no other university in America that can say that they do that the way we do it.
All students are pretty lucky then,
yeah.
I must say. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you.
In today's episode, with President Emeritus of the Baldwin Wallace University, Professor Richard Durst, and Vice President of Guru Nanak Khalsa College, Yamunanagar, and GMN College, Ambala, Randeep Johar, we discussed the mission and unique qualities of Baldwin Wallace University, Ohio, USA, and also various options in the BW and ways and modes of applying. But greener though it may seem, one must not follow the path blindly. So open up your eyes, rise up to the right opportunities, and grab only the best. That's all from everybody here. Keep dreaming, for you are ready to fly and fly high. And do not forget to write to us at editor@dayandnightnews.com.